Welcome to Muslim Apologetics Australia. I wish to share with you a comment I've seen from an ex-Muslim, and his name is Abdullah Samir. It was under a video published by some ex-Muslim regarding a debate between this voodoo guy and Asadullah Ali. And I basically caught out this comment and I found it totally extraordinary because I produced several videos showing how ex-Muslims have been running away from debates. I've shown in my videos how ex-Muslims only selectively choose certain people to debate with on certain particular issues, and they basically try and target weak Muslims. And, you know, just an example, Abdullah Samir has sent me a video where he's claimed to debate Nader Ahmed. And we know who Nader Ahmed is. And, you know, I've pointed out many times that he's not a capable Muslim in debating anything, really. Regardless if it's jihad, regardless if it's the Bible, whatever it is. And many Muslims actually share my view. And that's why a lot of critics of Islam like debating Nader Ahmed. And, you know, it's interesting because I pointed this out to Abdullah Samir. And Abdullah Samir actually said, he basically agrees with me. Let's listen to the audio.
I know Ali Dawah refused to debate me. But anyways, if you can find someone else that's like a better opponent, Hamza Sotis, or anybody you know that's willing to have a discussion with me, I'd be very happy to do so. So let me know. Like, I understand Nadir is not the best, but he's the only one that agreed to it. But yeah, I understand Nadir is not the best debater, and I don't know if you know someone else that would be interested in having like a discussion with me, someone that's a more stronger opponent, someone like Muhammad Hijab, or I know Ali Dawah refused to debate me. But anyways, if you can find someone else that's like a better opponent, Hamza Sotis, or anybody you know that's willing to have a discussion with me, I'd be very happy to do so. So let me know. Like, I understand Nadir is not the best, but he's the only one that agreed to it.
So as you can see, Abdullah Samir admits Nader Ahmed is not the best. He's, and you can see from the tone he already looks down on Nader Ahmed like a disappointment. But he still went after, which is interesting. And he still went on to debate him and so forth, and he agreed to debating Nader Ahmed. And what even makes it more interesting is that when Abdullah Samir comes out and he accuses Asadullah Ali, who's a Muslim apologist, for not debating people who are, better experts, as he calls it. Let's have a look what Abdullah Samir says. Abdullah Samir says, he posts a comment to Asadullah Ali and he says, I've noticed Asadullah will only discuss with certain people he feels he can one up. He won't discuss with opponents that he considers will not let him get away with it. So, this is really interesting. Abdullah Samir hasn't had any debates with any of the experts or professionals in Islam, but he selectively picks his opponents, but then he accuses Asadullah Ali for apparently doing the same, quote unquote. Yet Abdullah Samir understands who the weak Muslim apologists are, yet still goes after those very weak Muslim apologists. In fact, I did a video, I think a few months ago, where I actually challenged myself. I challenged to debate Abdullah Samir, and I put up these sort of protocols that we need to follow, where we have total open discussion. There's no time limits, meaning that it'll be consecutive after a few weeks. It'll go for a few weeks. Like if we want to debate like the scientific miracles in the Quran, then it can't be constricted to a particular time frame because it needs further study, investigation. So I basically said to him, look, I'll rather just do article responses, because that way we can investigate, research the information instead of putting a person on the spot in front of a video camera and conflating the time and saying, oh, look, you don't have an answer, when many things need research and responses. So I wanted them to engage with me in more of a video plus, let's say article, where we have time to bring out evidence consecutively throughout the whole weeks. And from weekend to weekend. And I actually tried to put this debate offer to Harris Sultan, and he rejected. Abdullah Samir even rejected this. Harris Sultan is another ex-Muslim, and I asked him, let's do these types of debates, because what they want to do is they want to restrict the Muslim, put him in front of a video camera, and then pump all these questions onto him. And obviously, if the matter needs research, the Muslim's not going to be able to go do his research. He's going to be conflated to a certain particular time. And then the atheist ex-Muslim's going to celebrate and say, oh, look, the Muslim doesn't have an answer. So no, we don't. This is what the ex-Muslims hate. They hate that there's ample amount of time and the video discussion continuously goes on. So they don't want that. They want to conflate it to a particular time so they can then restrict the Muslim from going to seek more answers and research. And I discussed this in a previous video, and I'll put a hyperlink below this video so you can get more of a brief understanding to what I'm actually talking about. And does Abdullah Samir actually criticize his ex-Muslim brother called Harris Sultan? Because Harris Sultan actually messaged me and he says, look at his debates. And he debates some guy called Rahmatullah Nawraz. Harris Sultan versus Rahmatullah Nawraz. I've never even heard of Rahmatullah Nawraz. He is not a public influential Muslim in the community that debates, atheists or Christians or whatever. I mean, this person just some new guy that's just come on the stage and no one knows anything about him. But see, these ex-Muslims like to pick on these Joe Blows. So, I mean, no offense to the brother, but I'm just saying that if they want to criticize Asadullah Ali for picking certain individuals that he feels that are weaker than him to debate with and ignores better, stronger opponents, I mean, that's just nonsense and hypocritical on their part. When in fact, even Asadullah Ali has made many debate requests to people like, say, David Wood, and David Wood has rejected. Asadullah has even put debate requests to Sam Harris, and they're pretty much on mute. So I mean, for you to say Asadullah Ali is going for weaker opponents than himself because he ignores yous because you're just a bunch of trolls and unscholarly people. So actually Asadullah has a good reason to actually ignore someone like Abdullah Samir or someone like Harris Sultan, who are unscholarly trolls, basically. But, for you to accuse Asadullah Ali for going for weaker opponents, when the fact is he does go for stronger opponents, it's just the fact that they reject him. It's you who is actually going after smaller Muslim apologists. Sometimes their names aren't even heard of. And I actually brought this up to Harris Sultan, for example, and I said to him, why are you debating unscholarly Muslims? And then Harris Sultan then posts me a video saying he's debated Nader Ahmed. Right? But Nader Ahmed is someone that is even looked down upon by even Abdullah Samir. Abdullah Samir, your ex-Muslim buddy, even looks down on him. And I made this known to Harris Sultan, and I said, Abdullah Samir thinks Nader Ahmed is a weak apologist. He's not even one of the good ones. and look what Harris Sultan says. He says, I agree with you on that one. He is a weak apologist. So Harris Sultan agrees he's a weak apologist. He understands this, but why do they then go after these weak apologists? I then said to Harris Sultan, why do you then boast about your defeats? He says, any victory is a victory. Can you believe this? Harris Sultan says any victory is a victory. So regardless if it's a strong Muslim or a very weak Muslim, someone who's not scholarly on Islam and so forth, if I beat him, it's a victory is a victory. I mean, unbelievable. Look at the desperate affairs of these ex-Muslims. So this is the same Harris guy that I called him to a weekly debate, open discussion. The debate doesn't end, and we can continuously bring back investigation and research papers back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he rejected this. They rejected this. Why? Because what they want to do is they want to go after people like Nader Ahmed, who, weaker Muslim apologists. And then what they want to do is conflate it to one single debate and say, look, we've won against Islam. When Nader Ahmed, for example, needs more research, he needs to go to investigation, then apparently he sends a private email to Abdullah Samir, for example, and says, oh, look, I've made an error here. Why? Because this is what they want to do. They want to conflate the Muslim to one particular video so he can't do further research, and then all the atheists will laugh at that video and say, oh, look, the Muslim didn't have an answer, when really it just needed further research. But see, the ex-Muslims run away from such a platform. And they know it. And this is why Harris Sultan doesn't want to debate me. This is why Abdullah Samir doesn't want to engage me on such a debate platform. So this is why I feel that it's best, and I'm listening to other apologists who are very close to me, who say just basically put these individuals on ignore. Don't take them seriously. Don't go and engage them because they're unscholarly, and at the same time they are very sinister. They don't want to accept the orders of Muslims and these debate protocols because of them being scared about them. They don't want to engage Muslims on truth and intellectual honesty. And so what they do is they try and run away from those Muslim premises that are put on them. Why? Because they want to conflate the debate to a particular time frame and then try and declare victory. And they go after weaker Muslims. So if these ex-Muslims are being tactical, then we need to be tactical as well. I mean, we're not going to give in. We're not going to give in to your games. And so if you want to be a man, if you want to be a real debater, if you really want to have some intellectual honesty in your approach, then come to our neck of the woods. Let's see whether you could play the same game as there. And you can't. That's why you run away from those prescribed conditions. And so if you want to run away from those prescribed conditions, then, you're not worth our time. And other Muslim apologists have made that clear as well. And that's why they can't come after us. The only people they could go after is people like Nader Ahmed and that other individual that they wanted to debate.